Hey everyone, and welcome to a review of Go-Go Power Rangers issue 14. Now, where we last left off, Jason and Trini had been transported to another dimension and they had swapped colors. Trini is in the Red Ranger outfit, Jason is in the Yellow Ranger outfit, and that arc continues in issue 14. So let's get right into it. Now, the issue opens up 6 years before arrival day, and we are at the Angel Grove Karate Center, or the Karate Dojo, whatever you want to call it, and we see a young Mr. Jason Scott, and this is a very interesting flashback we get, because we get to see Jason as a kid, and Jason as a kid is a very different person than what he was as an adult, because Jason as an adult or a teenager with attitude, he is a very respectable young man who knows how to make the right decision in the situation, but as a kid, he's a little shitbag. He picks fights with people at camps, he's breaking their bones, he gets in this karate teacher's face. It's really interesting to see him like a kid. And the karate teacher has some interesting words saying, you think that you're broken, you don't know what you're doing, you think you're worthless and stuff like that. And then he says at the end, hey, if you want to walk away, but if you stay here, you might amount to something. And then so it's just a very interesting conversation that they have back and forth with each other, because Jason is just this reckless kid, and it's a good insight to see what he'll become, because those few speeches that his teacher gives is an insight to Jason's character in the future. So it's a very interesting choice of words, and you get to see what this character is going to be like growing up or in the future, in the show that we know that we watch. That's what I'm trying to say. We actually see what Jason becomes in the future if you've watched the show or read the comics, so it kind of reflects on that stuff. But one line of dialogue that the teacher has to Jason is saying that you might want to keep your feelings in control for once if that's something you want, because Jason as a kid, like I said, he's very reckless, he can't control his feelings, he's lashing out on people, he's shouting at people, he's picking fights with people. So I wonder if Brian is going to give Jason an arc, not where he snaps and goes crazy, but he just loses it and goes all out. Like, I'm sure that this flashback is going to come into play later. If it doesn't, then I'm wrong, but I'm sure that those words might mean something later down the line if we look into them a bit too much. Who knows, maybe I could be wrong. We now return to the present day where we last left off in issue 13, where Trini and Jason were teleported to the strange dimension, and they're fighting off those monsters that was called to them. And these monster designs look really cool. They look like weird dinosaur dogs with all these eyes. They kind of look like lizard dinosaur dogs, and our two rangers are just running from them. They're fighting them off, but they are being agile and making them run into stuff. So it's very interesting. They don't summon the weapons in this panel, but I'm guessing they're going to have to learn how to call each other's weapons later down the line, so it's going to be interesting once we get to that stuff in Power Rangers, or in this issue. But it's really cool to see Jason and Trini just fighting these monsters off and just beating them up. They managed to get in a few kicks and knock them unconscious, and that looks really cool. Once Trini and Jason manage to escape the monster, they come to a cliffside, and I gotta say, this panel is drawn really nicely. You get to see the red sky, you get to see the cliffside, and you get to see panels of Trini and Jason reacting, and Trini's worried where they could be right now, because they could be anywhere in the universe, and they're unable to find out where they are. And Jason reassures her, saying, I'm sure that Alpha's punching all the buttons on the console right now, trying to track us down. And then he gets the situation saying, maybe we can give a hand with our communicators, link them together and give a signal boost, and signal burst, but and then Trini has this reply saying, making like a homing beacon. And I love this panel where she just looks so anime-like, where she's grabbing onto him, her mouth is open wide, she's just got all these sparkles around it. It's a very anime manga-like moment, and I did tweet out to the artist, and she did say she's very anime and manga inspired. I need to ask her what her inspirations are, because it's hard to say what her inspirations are, but I do like her anime-like style when it comes to expressions like this. She's really good at what she does. I do like her. She's a really good artist, and I'm enjoying her so far. I mean, to be honest, the art in Go-Go is doing better than the art in Mighty Morphin right now, because the Mighty Morphin art, I'm not the only one who's fond of it. But Jason reassures Trini that when great minds think alike, there's nothing that you and I can do together. or can't do together. That line, that line, but it does set up the romance that Trini and Jason are going to be having in this color swap arc. Meanwhile, back at the command center, we get a lot of science mumbo jumbo about what Rita did, putting them through like a different kind of portal, a different dimension portal, and Zordon has a very interesting line saying the Rangers need to stay on guard because with only 3 Rangers, if a giant monster attacks, they cannot call the Megazord. They'll have 0 chance of a Megazord. So Billy says he's gonna stay back and help Alpha pinpoint where Jason and Trini are, while Zack and Kimberly are gonna go out there and make sure everyone's alright in case a giant monster, well not a giant monster, a monster attacks, because they're the last line of defense. With only 3 Rangers, the numbers are a bit thinned, and it kind of seems like they are going for a divide and conquer kind of stick here, so that's going to be very interesting when we get down to that in the comic. We then cut to Rita, who is on the same planet, and she has landed where the trolls live in World of Warcraft. Not literally, they kind of do look like the trolls in World of Warcraft with the blue skin and stuff like that, but you find out they're this ancient warrior tribe, and you see their leader, who looks really interesting. I do like her design. She's just, like I said, she looks like a troll from World of Warcraft, just a female troll from World of Warcraft. She looks really cool, and I love how Rita confronts her and she goes, I need proof that you're this strong, and all her guards just rush at Rita. In a one fell swoop, Rita pulls down her staff and just destroys them all in an instant. And Rita goes, I'm not here to fight, but if you try that again, I'll turn your city to dust, so be careful what you do. And she basically says, I'm not here to fight, I came here to make a bargain. So Rita, being Rita in the comics, coming here to be ahead of the Rangers and set a deal. God, I love Rita in the comics. She's just so smart. I love it how she's like planning ahead. She's got a plan, and we're gonna see her execute that plan, and it seems like she is just plotting something. We know she's planning to get the Rangers destroyed because they're the intruders on this planet, but whatever she's plotting apart from getting the Rangers destroyed, or within this plan to get the Rangers destroyed that we'll see at the end of the comic, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting plan she's got planned out. We then cut to Rita's moon palace where Finster is working on a monster called Sabotaurus Rex. Now I looked up this monster because I tried to remember if he was a monster in the show. Actually, he's named after a band called Sabotaurus Rex, so that's a cool little reference. Ryan making a JoJo reference, naming monsters after a band. Good on you, Ryan. But anyway, Babu walks in and he's like, well, maybe you should make stuff for yourself instead of Rita. I mean, you're stifling your creativity. Why make stuff for Rita when you can make stuff that you want? You're the artist here. So Babu was just trying to convince Finster, hey, just do whatever you want. Rita's not here, go nuts. So that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to like twist their arm and make them do whatever they want. God, this is going to end badly for these characters, but it's just funny how I love the expression that he's been drawn as well, where he's like he's just got that anime look on his face where he's just like, he's got the triangle eye, he's got his lips thinking. It's just this funny expression he's got on his face saying, maybe you should do this instead. So this is funny. Like, I love it how these two characters are going to, like Scott and Babu, they're just going to be running amok in the palace trying to convince others to do what they want or trying to work for them. It's going to be a fun turn of events, and I'm curious to see where it goes. I get the feeling this is what is going to make the Rangers divide and conquer, because they're just going to send all these monsters down to attack. So we'll see where that goes later down the line, but God, I love these two. We then cut to the juice bar where we see the origin of hip-hop keto in the comics, and because Jason is away, Zack is teaching Jason's karate lessons, and I love the students' reactions going, is Sensei Scott coming back soon? And then because like they're at the juice bar, Kimberly's there too, and I don't know what the artist like did for, I don't know what she did, what she made Kimberly wear. I like the outfit, but I don't get it, because it's, you see like a pink jumper or shorts, black pants, it's just the top that she's wearing looks really weird because it's like white sleeves and it's pink. I can't tell if she's wearing something like over it that's see-through, or just, it's hard to make out. Like, I'm not the best fashion artist or fashion person, but what's going on is they're trying to like cover for their friends. Like Kimberly said she went to talk to Miss Appleby for an extension, and apparently they've already uploaded it from the library. So apparently Billy's been covering for him, and it's kind of funny because like he's covering for him with text messages, getting the stories all different. So it's kind of funny that Billy's like on this, but he's like getting all the stories mixed up, saying, oh, he was doing like, Zach is telling Ernie one thing, but Jason sent him a text or something like that. That was totally something different. So they said, we got to talk to Billy to get like the story straight and make him actually seem like Jason would do stuff like that. So yeah, they got to get the story kind of straight, so it's kind of funny. So meanwhile, at the command center, our rangers managed to get in contact with Jason and Trini, and everyone's shocked about the whole color swap thing. Even Zordon, where he said he's never seen anything like this before. But as they're talking to the others, the trolls from World of Warcraft come out of nowhere and start attacking, and a fight begins between these weird orc-looking things and Trini and Jason, and it's really cool because they summon each other's weapons to fight these things off. You see Jason with the power daggers and Trini with the power sword, and I love Trini's line which she says, "Mama's got a big sword now." And this is where things get really interesting, where somehow they can read each other's thoughts. And as they're fighting off the monsters, things aren't looking good because they begin firing arrows at them or throwing spears at them, and that's when Jason and Trini decide to retreat and just jump off a cliff into the middle of nowhere, and that's the last we see of these characters in the issue. We then cut to the juice bar where Kimberly and Billy are talking. Well, Billy's doing all the talking. Kimberly isn't really listening as she's watching Matt talk to his brand new group of friends. I think it's the more popular kids that he's hanging out with, or just the arsehole kids if you want to call them that, because I think it's like the chick that Skull dated a few weeks, like Bulk and Skull, one of those girls that they dated like way back in Homecoming, I believe they are. I can't remember their names. It could be someone else, but I think it's these characters here. But I love the attention of detail as Kimberly's watching him, because like she's just watching him and you see her lower lip just quiver, like how upset she is, and she still hasn't gotten over Matt in a way. And she just stands up and she goes, "Well, I'm getting fries. Does anyone want fries?" And as she walks to the juice bar, like to see Ernie to get some more fries, you see Skull approach her and he's like, "Oh yeah, so I heard you broke up with Matt, that kind of sucks." And Kimberly's like in a I don't care mood, so I think she just agrees to go on a date with Skull just for the sake of it. Just to make him shut up, or probably just get back at... I guess it's a rebound thing, I'm guessing. Just, she doesn't care and she just dates him for whatever, so I'm guessing this kind of explains in the show and in the comics why Skull has a crush on Kimberly. It kind of sets that whole thing up, so it's very interesting to see. But I do like her pose as she's walking away from Skull. It's like the hair flip with the hand curved. It's really cool. I do like the pose that she's been drawn here. It looks really cool. And then on the final 2 pages you see Rita arriving at some place called the Temple of Repulsa. Now this is an interesting twist, the Temple of Repulsa, and as she's getting escorted to the place, she talks to the orc or the troll leader, saying how whatever's in there, people like worshipped it, they sacrificed things to it, people say it holds all the answers to the universe. So it's sort of like this big myth being that lives on the planet and people worship it. I'm trying to think of something to compare it to, but it's hard to think right now. But it's interesting that we see something like this on here, the Temple of Repulsa. Who knows what exactly that is, but apparently Rita calls it a new beginning and the end of the Power Rangers. So whatever it is, it seems very powerful, whatever's in there. And I'm curious to see what's in there as well, because it seems really interesting. It could be some sort of monster that might destroy them, but to learn that there's some sort of lore where Rita's got some sort of ancestry thing that could destroy them. I mean, it's called the Temple of Repulsa. God knows what's on there. It could be some sort of great being of Rita's that could destroy them. And whatever it is, I'm excited to find out whatever it is in the next issue. So that wraps up my review or my recap of issue 14 of Go-Go Power Rangers, and overall it was a pretty fun issue. I mean, we had a lot of action, we had a lot of slice of life stuff, we had Rita setting up stuff for future issues, and issue 15 that comes out next month is the infamous Jason and Trini kissing cover, so maybe the romance will blossom in that issue, because I believe this arc is only going to go on to issue 16 from what I've seen the covers being released. Maybe it could go a little bit longer, who knows, but we haven't seen covers beyond issue 16 as of recording this, so we'll see what happens later down the line. But either way, I quite enjoyed it. I mean, a lot of setup for future stuff. I mean, the stuff is moving along really well. I love the artist for Go-Go. I love the new artist. She's really good. Loving her work. Loving her anime-like style. So we'll see where it goes later down the line. But anyways, if you enjoyed this issue, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys later down the line at the end of the month with my review or my recap of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 33. And maybe I'll see you guys earlier with some Power Ranger news breaks. So anyways, subscribe to the channel and I'll see you guys around. Have a wonderful day. Bye and peace out.